Michelle Ngele. This is a Morning Express, and later on we will be speaking to Senator Elizabeth Ongoro. She has been making headlines for quite a while now with regard to questions of integrity, and we will be speaking to her just to clear up some of these issues. She is already in studio. Now to our first story this morning, the Kenyan Ministry of Labour, an arbiter in the ongoing nurses' strike, is now admitting that the industrial unrest is a result of compounded errors on the part of concerned authorities and meant to negotiate the nurses' collective bargaining agreement. The ministry's Cabinet Secretary Phyllis Kandia, who is set for day 2 of engagements with the parties, says the controversial CBA was agreed upon days after the stipulated 60-day window allocated for the talks. And as KTN's Timothy Otieno reports, it appears that grandstanding from both sides of the dispute is unlikely to end anytime soon.
Day 3 of the nurses' strike, and Kenyans continue to suffer as many are left to seek alternative methods of medical assistance.
Hakuna hata watu najua. Nilikuja tu kwa Paraguay kwa ajili ya mtoto tu peke yake. Kuna watu najua. Mimi tu na Mungu tu peke yake.
And as some medical facilities turned away patients, in Nairobi, Labour Cabinet Secretary Phyllis Kandia was seeking an amicable way of solving the crisis. The Labour Cabinet Secretary would hold separate meetings with both representatives from the Council of Governors and the Kenya National Union of Nurses officials. Her verdict following the meetings was that the crisis may be far from over.
The way we see it from the ministry, there are issues. There are major issues that the two sides need to yet to agree for us to have a document that we can present to the SRC for a letter of no objection. And once the SRC has given its advice, then if it's agreeable to both sides, then that is a document that can be signed and registered in court.
The nurses' union officials insist there is no dispute, instead choosing to stick to what they say was an agreed-upon collective bargaining agreement that should see nurses' allowances cost the county governments in excess of 7 billion shillings annually.
We don't have any dispute with the COG. The COG or the government has a dispute with themselves. The county government the county public service board, the COG and SRC have their own conflicts and disputes, which we are saying they should clear in-house, then come out with our CBA, we sign and register.
But the governors would hear none of that, instead insisting that the collective bargaining agreement will cost them 10 billion shillings annually, an amount both the Salaries and Remuneration Commission and the county government say is unsustainable.
This means that county governments cannot afford any further increments to remuneration for health workers, even in the coming financial year, if this money is not provided for in the Division of Revenue Bill.
Counties have now decided to hire nurses on an interim basis as a mitigation measure with the hopes that the stalemate ends soon. Mombasa County, for instance, has hired 70 nurses to solve the crisis within the county. But that may not be enough to alleviate the pain and suffering, even as both sides of the dispute continue to shift blame on a strike entering its 4th day, Thursday.
How will a strike be called in the middle of negotiation? Because negotiations haven't been completed. We will have understood if due process had been done. When the negotiations have totally failed, all processes have failed, then we get notified, and then further legal actions and processes can be followed from there.
We have concluded, we have them in record asking us for a date to sign the CBA, and we gave them. So whatever they are still doing with our CBA, it is them who can explain, not the union. Union is ready and was ready like yesterday to sign this CBA.
No CBA, no one. The Ministry of Labour has now scheduled another meeting for Thursday morning that will involve all parties to the dispute as it seeks to stop yet another medical sector crisis.